Okay. Salat al-Janazah is Farz Kifaya, meaning you have to, as a group, someone. Therefore, it is a type of wajib, but it's not wajib name or farz name. Where are you going to stand? This person is deceased. Where are you going to stand? Right. If the person that passed away is a male, you stand at the head. Okay. So you come a bit forward. You stand at the head. If the person that has passed away, you stand at the waist. There's the waist. That's it. So male, female. Okay. We need another deceased person. Hold on. There you go. If there are two males, where you're going to stand, you arrange them like this. If it's a male and a female, you're going to be a woman. You pretend to be a woman. Okay, I don't want to embarrass you. You don't want to do it, okay, that's fine. If you want to do it, come on then. So if it's a woman, the woman now will come. Where does she come? Here or there? Where do we put the women? Huh? Right. Normally, the women are at the back, and the men are at the front when it comes to Salat al-Jama'ah. But when it comes to Salat al-Janazah, women are closer to the Kaaba, not the men. It's the other way around. Normally, men are closer to the Kaaba, front row, and women are furthest away from the Kaaba. When it comes to Janazah, men, women, children. So now, woman, lie down, please. Wherever you want. So now, the way that we're going to do it for the females is that the woman will be at the waist. So you will have to move up so that you're parallel with the faces and your waist is parallel with their face. So come. So you need to get up. Get up. So your waist has to be where their face is. That's the line. At the bottom. Move over. That's it. Exactly like that. So where are you going to stand on now? No, you're going to feel your hair. There you go. If you have any children, the children will be lined up. Where are you going? Where are you going? Where are you going? Where are you going? Stay. Go back. Go back where you are. This is the line. Right, this is actually, I'm now combining a number of questions here. There's another question that the Shaykh will ask later on. So you've got multiple janazahs. Which one is closer to the Imam? Men, women, children, fine. But let's say you've got more than one man. How do we arrange the men? Here we've got somebody who's older than younger. Is that how we do it? No. The Shaykh said at the bottom of the pulpit, where they had two pits, they arranged the burial for those people who knew the most Quran and they were lowered first. Therefore, the people at the front will be those people who are more pious, know more Quran, who are more practicing, for example. They will be there first, and then so on and so forth. We're going what is apparent. If they all are good, then khalas, what can we do about it? So this is another question that the Shaykh was asked. Now we are ready for Salat al-Janazah. Obviously you need the niyyah, and the niyyah is Salat al-Janazah. And then you have the deceased in front of you. That's condition number one. So the deceased is there, and this is important. Because now when you go to Makkah and Medina, for example, say that Salat al-Janazah takes place, and you missed a rak'ah, or two rak'ah, you missed a takbir or two takbir. I want to talk about that separately. But if you missed it, and the janazah has been lifted, the Hanabila say that you're not praying over anymore. So he's going to start now. Say you came in late, you missed the first takbir. He's finished, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. You've now done takbir. You need to make up, and we're going to talk about that later on. The deceased has been lifted, but you're still in Salat al-Janazah. What are you doing? There's no need praying anymore. So the Shaykh says the first thing that you need to have now, obviously after niyyah, is you have to have the deceased here in front of you. Salat al-Ghaib, we're going to talk about that later on, meaning praying for the people who are absent. Men are in front of the Imam according to their heads, and women are in front of the Imam according to the waist. Men, women, wait, this is wrong. This is wrong, you should be faced, you should be here, sorry. Sorry, come here. You stand here, and we pretend the Qibla is that way. So stand here, and we pretend that the Qibla is that way. It makes it easier for us, yeah? So pretending the Qibla is that way, even though it's not directly at the head, but it's not a big deal. So the Imam stands at the head, but he stands at the waist for the women. There are 4 takbirats. The Shaykh says that the Prophet sometimes used to do 5, sometimes he did 7, sometimes he did 9. And this is a sunnah which has kind of like been abandoned. And the Shaykh says that this is something that we should look at. But there are 4 main ones. Number 1, so you do takbir, Abdullah, Allahu Akbar. What are you going to recite now? Fatiha only. Fatiha only. Some of the scholars said you can recite a small surah, but the Shaykh is saying here there is no real deen for that, there is no evidence for that. Fatiha only. And this is the view of the majority of them. Some of the scholars, the Hanafis, they say you don't do anything. And the reason why is because Salat al-Janazah is a type of dua, and the purpose is not for you to pray. The purpose is for you to now intercede and make dua and istighfar for the deceased. So what you do is Allahu Akbar, and you do dua istiftah. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi wa ta'ala wa la ilaha ghayruh. Allahu Akbar. Second takbirah. If a person is praying behind an Hanafi imam, you have to respect that. But you have to also pay attention that they are not going to do the Fatiha. And for you, if you hold this opinion, the Fatiha is a pillar of the Salah. La Salah liman lam yaqra' al-Fatiha fil kitab. There is no Salah for a person who doesn't recite the Fatiha. This is the type of Salah, and this is the view of the majority. And it's well established in the Prophet the Fatiha, so we companion. Therefore, we respect the Hanafi opinion. If you're going to pray behind a Hanafi imam, and you've got the opinion that you have to do Fatiha, then he's just going to do Allahu Akbar. Within seconds, he's going to do the next takbir. You've got a time to get it in there, but you have to pay attention to that. Okay? So the first one is the Fatiha, because this is a Salah, and there is no Salah without Fatiha. It's one of the pillars. Second one, Allahu Akbar. Go on, Allahu Akbar. Right. Are you raising your hands? The Shaykh doesn't talk about it. But it's established that Abdullah ibn Umar narrates the Messenger of Allah used to raise his hands. So you raise your hands. Some of the scholars say you don't. The Hanafi, I believe this is the view of Shaykh al-Albani as well, that you don't raise your hands. So Allahu Akbar for the first one, Fatiha. Allahu Akbar, don't raise your hands according to some. But the majority have said, raise your hands. So now he's raising them. What are you doing after the second takbirah? Abdullah, what are you reciting? You're the Imam, man. We're waiting for you. Go on. Sorry. No. It's not Fatiha, that's the first one. Second one, it's not a tahiyyat, it's Salam Ibrahim. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majid. Allahumma barik ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad kama barakta ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majid. Now, Abdullah, what are you going to do? Allahu Akbar, let's hear it. Now, the Shaykh says here there are a number of dua which have been narrated from the Messenger of Allah. Some of them are long, some of them are short, some of them are specific for children, some of them are general for adults. So if you've memorized them, or what have you memorized from them, then do it. But the purpose here now, and this is again a view of the majority, is as long as you're making dua for the deceased. And if you can't do it in Arabic, do it in English. But this is wallahi, it's an aid where people that go for Salat al-Janazah, they're praying over the deceased, they don't have to supplicate for them. So it's something I would say that you must try your best to memorize. People go all the way to Makkah, they don't have to pray Salat al-Janazah. When he could be praying behind the Imam, getting 100,000, being in this Jama'ah, he doesn't even know what he's doing. He doesn't even know what he's reciting. Therefore, I would say go ahead and learn them, memorize them, even if you can't memorize all of it, memorize some of it. And I've said in a separate audio before, it's some things are just simple for you to say. All you have to say, Allahumma ighfir lahu warhamhu. Or Allah forgive him, have mercy on him. For a family, Allahumma ighfir lahu warhamha. For a group of people, Allahumma ighfir lahu warhamhu. Even if you just repeated that, that's sufficient with the majority. There's nothing specific. Although specific narrations have been narrated, if you memorize them, that's better. So the Shaykh said the same thing. Then, that's the third takbirah. And then we're going to do the fourth one now, Abdullah. Some of them have said, the Shaykh is saying that you should say رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً وَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ. And then make the taslim. Some of them say you just be quiet and then you make the taslim. And then you make the taslim. So now, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Once or twice? Once, excellent. Once was the common habit of the Messenger of Allah for Salat al-Janazah. But sometimes he used to do it twice. The Hanafis have said there is no such thing as one taslim. And some of the Hanabila have said that as well. That's why you will find some of them saying Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Assalamu alaikum. It's flexible, it's flexible. But the most common habit of the Messenger of Allah was to do it just once. Even if you look at the description of the Salat he did over Najasi, he did it just once on the right hand side. Right, you guys want to get up before you fall asleep? Question number 5, and we make this the last